Hello. Just wanted to have a quick chat on a subject that I think is at the root of a lot of problems that we're having. It's the dehumanization of people outside your group. Um, when you're in an ideology, and that ideology is is one that has a tendency to describe people who are outside of its influence and or uh, don't live up to certain ideas about what you need to be in their group, um, and they start to describe the people as infidels, as sinners, um, you name it. Um, that's the beginning of a dehumanizing um, viewpoint towards your neighbors, towards the other humans around you. And um, to me, it's that kind of language. It's those groups that need to be watched, that need to be called to account, because frankly, um, anyone who would say something like the Catholic Church just recently did, that people who are gay, God is not. It seems as though there's a need to take them down a notch or two, because um, whatever your ideal is, it needs to be kept at a higher level than. So a marriage between two men, two women, whatever, um, it's somehow less than a marriage between a man and a woman. Now, you know, there aren't going to be that many people who make that choice. The majority of people are attracted to the opposite sex. But, I don't understand how they see the harm in those people who are going to make that choice. It's not something that they, can decide for themselves. It's an instinct within a person that pushes them in that direction. And to me, that kind of a determinant that will get used in the world of Catholicism to push down people, the gay people within that community, and it's a problem. So um, when people are coming from that community and are looking for someone who is less, who is, shall we say, um, not as blessed or whatever as the average person, they will look at those people as being somewhat less than them. And it gets worse in some other ideologies. I mean, much of what's gone on in the West in the past several hundred years has been a process of taking the power away from the organized religions to do the kinds of things they used to do in inquisitions and things, where people were determined to be witches or sinners or blasphemers, and they were put to death. That doesn't happen anymore, but certainly there is pressure put on to blame. Well, you'll still get in the religious south of the U.S. People claiming that the reason a hurricane came in and hit this part was because there's so many sinners and so many atheists or whatever. They're implicitly making them responsible and othering them with regards to the kind of people that you would denigrate in that way. So, and then you have people that there's the woke culture, where everyone who disagrees with their politics is instantly a Nazi and a bad person. Makes it a lot easier to punch someone in the street, or to set their car on fire, or do whatever damage you're going to do to their business, if you think of them as bad people. And if you look at the people who commit the mass murders from the side of, say, a Islamic perspective, they're talking about infidels continuously. It makes it a lot easier to to find people to do the horrible things that the extremists want, when everybody in the community thinks of certain people as being less than human, as infidels, as going to be cast into the fire, or whatever their belief system says. So I just think people need to sort of show very little patience at this point in time for anyone who uses that kind of language. I mean, the kind of revulsion we should feel for the Catholic Church being, who they are and what they've done and all of this over the years, to me, we need to push back hard on these kinds of things. They need to start to enter into the current world and get to the point where they at least, if they don't want to perform, it's up to them who they want to perform marriages for, but they got to be very careful about the language they use with regards to describing these communities. So anyway, the reason it was occurring to me is because we're not hearing anything now about the Boulder, Colorado killer, or the killer from Atlanta. Now that the stories have gone a little cold, we're not hearing about the root cause of these people. What were they thinking when they killed? And I think we're going to find, and certainly it appears as though it's the case, that it was a certain amount of religious fanaticism that went into it. And that needs to be called out too. I mean, everyone's worried about gun rules, and everyone's worried about mentally ill people getting licenses to own firearms. But in the end, in the U.S. And around the world, these ideologies that would demonize and dehumanize their neighbors, they need to be called out. And this kind of discussion, whether it's happening in a church or any place like that, whether it's woke, whether it's Islamic, we need to call them out on their language, and they need to stop demonizing their fellow countrymen, fellow citizens, fellow human beings, and that needs to stop. So anyway, my thoughts. I don't know what others might have observed on this, but to me the story's gone away, and it should there should remain a focus on it, because the root cause analysis of how these people went off the rails needs to bring us to a place where we can start to correct. So anyway, here's hoping everyone's doing well out there, and hopefully the next discussion will be a little happier. Talk to you guys later. Bye.